Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. What's up, guys? Let go the pencil here. And here we are to do a spoiler discussion for chapter 236 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's not waste any more time. And let's hop right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's water. It's water. I'm drinking water at 5 in the morning. Drinking water. It's been fun. It's been fun. But of course, you may be wondering, what do you mean? Pencil Man. What do you mean? It's been fun. Well, the chapter wastes absolutely no time. I can hear them now. In fact, I thought I could hear them in my sleep. Them laughing. And they've earned it. Don't get me wrong. They've earned it. When we open up, and we do get to see not a time long past. In fact, a time, well, maybe shortly past by the time of the chapter itself. We see Geto Suguru and Gojo Satoru. Both are teenagers, though. And for a moment, we see that something seems slightly off. In the sense that, well, the scene was never seen before, but you could assume, hypothetically, that this was back in time. As it starts with Geto saying yo to Gojo, who's looking stupefied, and Gojo says that this is awful, and Geto pouts and says that Gojo's being rude. They sit next to each other, or at least Geto sits down next to Gojo, and we see that it's over. Man. It feels different knowing that it's happened. It feels different knowing that's happened. Would it be like that? Would it be like that? Especially would it be like that? We see Gojo and Geto talk about what Gojo said about death. And he says, hey, I'll be real with you. I told them all. I told all the kids that when you die alone. So, whatever this is just my brain cooking up a nice little illusion or something, because obviously I'd be wrong then if I wasn't. And Geto naturally asked, bruh, does it really matter? Like, are you really mad that I'm here with you in your final moments of consciousness? And we see that Gojo mentions another Gojo clan member and his dad, which is never ever meant. I think this is the first time we've actually heard of another modern Gojo clan member. But apparently he left it to Shoko. I'm gonna assume this means when I first read this, I thought it meant like Gojo's dad was like a terrible person or something. But since he left it to Shoko, and Shoko isn't like a fighter, it's a Gojo clan member, I presume it has something to do with like Gojo's dad is sick, but Shoko's taking care of it, so it's all right. Which is nice. It's a nice way to mention a Gojo clan member, since we're not gonna see another one, presumably till the series is over now. I think this is it. Being completely honest with you, this is the last time we'll see a Gojo clan member doing the Gojo clan member thing, which is nice, actually. Well, of course, you know. I knew. The moment I opened up these spoilers and saw this flashback, I was like, they got me. And we do get to see that Gojo gets asked about how Sukuna was, how the King of Curses was. And we see that Gojo straight up admits that Sukuna was just him. Overall, hands down, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Sukuna was him, and Sukuna wasn't even all that invested. That's the crazy thing. Sukuna was Timothy Jones to the point where Gojo believes that it doesn't even matter that Sukuna had Megumi's technique. And this is even mentioned throughout the fight. Like, you can go throughout the fight and see that Gojo's talking about how, oh, yeah, low-key, he's playing stupid just to mess with my technique. He could definitely play this better. So ultimately, he could have played it better. But with that being the case, we see that Geto apparently is surprised that Gojo would make that admittance at all, even for someone like Sukuna. Like, whoa, okay, that's a little bit crazy. And I guess it does make sense in the end. I'll talk about it once we get to it. This is gonna be. I'm talking about the front half. I mean, you know, I know. I'm trying to build up nice to it. We won't talk about it. We won't talk about it. And we do get to see as lotuses bloom. Gojo grips his fists and says that he really did give everything. His body trained to the peak, the techniques he learned, the talent he brushed, inspiration and explosive powers. He wanted to reach Sukuna and give it everything and hope that it reached the back of the strongest. But unfortunately, everything was not enough. And with that being the case, he says it was fun though, in the end. Like, even after doing all that and failing, it was fun. It was worth it in the end. And we see Gojo look sad, and he says he really does actually feel sorry for Sukuna. Because he knows that, in the end, Sukuna didn't give it his all, right? Like, Sukuna, in multiple ways, was still holding back from not revealing his true technique, to not being at full power properly, to not even going into his original body. Sukuna was... He was him. He was him. And Geto admits, like, well, okay, golly. You're talking that talk. I guess I was never a rival, but I'm glad that you're satisfied, if anything. And we see that Gojo admits that he'd also been satisfied if Geto was there to also give him a slap on the back. Though ultimately, it would have resulted in the same outcome anyway. And with that being the case, we do get to see that the two are no longer alone. They end up getting joined by Haibara and Nanami, who are also, though admittedly, Haibara did die a teenager. Unlike pretty much every other character here who had like further character development. No, Haibara, he did go at this age. So like, that is the case. But we do get to see that Gojo admits he's actually kind of proud and happy that he didn't end up going in the traditional way. That ultimately it wasn't time or disease or anything like that, but it was just someone who was truly, honestly, and genuinely stronger than him, down to the very core. And Nanami is like, bro, I want to hear that sentimental stuff. And apparently he says, Gojo, shut your samurai. And you know, it is true. It is true. That is something that, well, at least in like the manga-based fiction of samurai, I have no idea about Japanese history. Negative idea. I'm not even going to pretend to be educated on that field. But with that being the case, Gojo actually feels a little bit upset. And Haibara says, yeah, it's something we all noticed about how you were talking, but we didn't want to say it out loud. So Nanami, come on now, bro. And we see that Nanami, or what I do believe this is all in Gojo's head. Like, ultimately, I don't think any of this is real. I think this is all just in a similar vein to how I don't think Haibara was actually at Nanami's death. Like, I get there is some weird implications of like a JJK afterlife or like some in-between space. Like, the sorcerers that reincarnated straight up admit that they perished. They perished after their regular lifespans. It's not like they were all immediately turned into cursed objects, but they weren't conscious seemingly enough for those years. They were perished and then came back And especially Uro is the one who most clearly implies that. Other characters like Ryu or Kashima or Reggie, they don't really talk much about their like afterlife phase, but Uro straight up acknowledges like, yo, we were cooked. So thusly, maybe there's some sort of afterlife. Maybe this is actually happening, but I don't know. I just think I ultimately think it isn't that possible. And we do see that Nanami says, while he won't really justify Gojo's last moments, he doesn't care to. He does admit that he feels sympathy for him, and Gojo ultimately gives him his thanks anyway. And we see that Gojo ends up asking, presumably fully given into this, he's like, hey, how were your last moments? How was death? And we see that Nanami's like, I'll be real with you. He had two options. According to Mei, she told him to move north. She was looking to, or no, if one is looking to find a new side of yourself, or move south if you want to stay who you are. And I think in the end, we all knew Nanami Kento ended up staying south. You could say him simply becoming a Jujutsu sorcerer again was him admitting that he wanted to stay south. And of course, in death, he decided to not curse Yuji Itadori. He simply told him he had it all from there. And we see, as a final drink is poured in the background, the blazing drink, seemingly enough, we see that Nanami ended up choosing south, and that Haibara made his moments, in the end, not so bad. And Gojo smiles to himself one last time, and then he says goodbye to everyone. Yaga, who also got, Geto, who's been got for like, actually no, I didn't think about it. Haibara is the longest got in this flashback. Oh wait, no, he isn't. No, he's not. He's not. Is he? No, he isn't. He is not. He is clearly not the longest god. We get Gojo, who we now know has gone. We got Geto. We got Yaga. 3 characters who are now gone. We got Haibara. We got Nanami. I didn't know the maid. Did Kuroi? Kuroi got by who? Who did it? Did she take her home? Like I don't know. I thought she made it out because Toji admits he never encountered her. I mean, I may need to reread or rewatch. I can rewatch, hit an inventory, but like, why is Kuroi here? I could have sworn she made it out okay, but I don't know. But even Riko's there. Everyone says goodbye, and they hop on the proverbial plane to the afterlife. And we cut to the end of the strongest. Satoru Gojo has passed on. We see him laid out, top half on the ground. The juice pouring from his mouth. And we see ultimately, he ends up perishing. Just like that. Eyes open though, looking up at the sky, but he is gone. And we see that out of this metaphorical dream state, Sukuna begins to spit. He explains Maharaga's adaptation. Everyone was kind of, well, sort of, not really, I mean, it's a mix of both of the ideas that Yuji mentioned. We see that, according to Sukuna, all it takes is one time of Maharaga receiving an attack. And then it'll just adapt to it over time. Like, it'll simply just... There seems to be a set base timer. However long that timer is, I can't tell by the raw leaks. I'm just going by the little mini translations we have. So it has a set timer to end up adapting. However, this timer will gradually decrease more and more as it takes more and more of the same attack. And with that being the case, according to Sukuna, he really didn't actually expect too much from Maharaga. He just wanted Maharaga to be a role model to kind of show Sukuna how to pass through Gojo's infinity. He didn't actually need Maharaga permanently as sort of as a portable inverted spear of heaven. What he really just needed Maharaga to do was teach him, show him the way on how to do it. And with that being the case, we see characters like Yuji sweating and gritting teeth. We see even, man, you know it's bad when even Maki's looking. Look, but okay, I suppose it's bad for a couple. But we see. I pour another one out. I think I did. You know what? I'm kind of glazing through the chapter real quick. I got another little bit. Let me take another sip. Let me pour another one out. You may be wondering, Pencil, why are you using a plastic bowl? I don't have those bowls. Do I look like a person? Do I look like a person who has those bowls? I do not have those bowls. So let me just. Whew. I know this thing's meant to keep water cold, but I got this like last night, and it's still cold. So, we see that Maki Zenin, the ghost of the Zenin, comforts Yuta Kotsu as he clutches his blade close, both sad at the loss of their sensei. Even Maki, who never really viewed Gojo as a sensei, did still view him as something close to it, an ally, someone to lose. Yuta Kotsu, obviously, even more than Maki, most likely. But then again, I'd say they're actually pretty comparable in terms of Maki being allowed to go to JJK High because of Gojo. But Yuta especially, Yuta literally owes Gojo his life. Like, who knows how many times over. With that being the case, you see Yuta grip it. Like, I get why Gege typically doesn't do veins in his art style, but I do wish you can see Yuta gripping the katana. And like, I think it's unrealistic. I'm not sure. Can veins actually pop out of like here and your knuckles? Like, I'm not sure if that's a thing, but I think a little extra detail, like maybe even some motion lines around his hands would have been nice to show like how hard he's gripping it. But we see he's being comforted by Maki. And then Sukuna continues to explain that ultimately Maharaga was first adapting to Gojo's infinity. So it was working to bypass it, to neutralize it. And then, after seemingly adapting to infinity wasn't going to work 100%, what actually ended up getting adapted to was the cursed energy of Gojo. And then, as a byproduct of adapting to the cursed energy of Gojo, it would end up neutralizing the infinity as a byproduct. This is a theory I've personally always had for how to get past Gojo's ability. I always thought if you could just turn off the cursed energy or simply negate things that are born of the natural magic system, because to be fair, there are very few things in JJK that can do it. But if you can turn off the magic system or absorb the magic system, you could get past the infinity, because the infinity is produced by Gojo's cursed energy. Thusly, if you can absorb cursed energy, something like the Preta Path from Naruto, something like Samehada from Naruto. Naruto has a couple good examples. Even there's some characters in Naruto that can just flat out drain chakra. I always figured that could work against the neutral limitless, because, well, it's born of his chakra. Like in a cross-verse sense, chakra and cursed energy would be equalized. So I always thought it was something like that. And thusly, it seems like that's the case, because that's what Maharaga ended up adapting to, which does actually kind of make sense. I'm not sure. Once again, I'll wait for the full official translations, but it actually does kind of make more sense to me, because one of the biggest things you constantly heard me asking, how is Maharaga adapting to a defensive phenomenon? How would do that? And I'm not sure if Sukuna's explaining that it did do that, if it had first adapted to infinity, completed adapting to it, and then changed to CE, or if adapting to infinity didn't actually work out, and thus it ended up adapting to cursed energy, and that's what ended up neutralizing infinity. Wow. But with that being the case, we see that the slash that Maharaga wrought across and tearing through Gojo's arm wasn't actually a target to Gojo, but it was space in the world itself. So essentially, we see that that slash that tore through Gojo didn't actually just cut Gojo or using the neutral limitless, it just cut space. It essentially tore open that hole. And with that being the case, we see that Gojo has been bifurcated in a very okay, I've already seen the comparisons. I shouldn't be loud. Oh, I've already seen the comparisons. Someone already put this right next to Yamamoto. Spoilers for Bleach. Actually, no, the anime's out. I think I can. I'll spoil up to the anime. The anime, that part of the anime's been out for a while. Hasn't it been a year? I feel like I can spoil that. I'm sorry if I just spoiled Bleach for you, but spoilers for Bleach. Remember when you yo, that's what this immediately reminded me of when I first saw it. Saw someone make the comparison, and now it's just I can't get it out of my head. I'm sorry. I love Gojo. Obviously, your boy was a #1 Gojo glazer. Arguing narrative, arguing that Gojo wasn't a narrative problem, that Gojo actually didn't need to go. I was arguing all of that, left, right, and center. If you couldn't tell, I was. But there's just something, like, I get it's supposed to be like a pride thing, like he never fell to his knees, but there's just something so oddly hilarious about seeing Gojo just... I'm not good enough of an editor to do it. So, excuse me, but like... Hold on. Let me try this. Just imagine the top half of me wasn't here and my feet were still posted up. Like, I get it. Like, it's technically a metric of honor, but like, dog. Looks kind of good. And you... I may, for y'all wondering, your boy may be going insane. Or maybe I was already insane. According to many people, I'm insane for not liking that piece of filth known as... I'm not even going to say his name this early in the morning. Its name this early in the morning. Doesn't have the right to heat. But with that being the case, you know what? That shirt didn't come off to the very end. To the very end. That shirt is still... Gege really said, I'm not giving you Gojo fans nothing. But we see Sukuna still stands there. Let me see. I'm not sure. Did his arm get healed? I can't tell if his arm got healed. Oh no, he's still handless. So he hasn't started the healing process yet. But presumably, he's going to still heal. And we see, obviously, Sukuna says, hey, the infinity doesn't matter if I can literally just cut space. So this sort of, once again, I can definitely see Gojo fans arguing against it in the cross-verse sense. But this just flat out means if you have spatial manipulation, you can beat the infinity. A lot of people already assume that, but for the longest time, people didn't rock with it, and there were like arguments against it because you couldn't prove. Well, in narrative, there's no way to prove that, and plus, it's a manipulation of space on the atomic level, so it's likely that it doesn't actually work. But Sukuna himself, at least in this, once again, in this little pseudo translation thing, Sukuna himself says like, "Ayo, it doesn't really matter. The infinity, all that mess. If I can just cut the world, you're in the world. You aren't actually separate from it." So, thusly, he managed to cut Gojo in half. Now, I'm assuming this was one of Sukuna's own thrown slashes. Oh, I am a little confused. I'm a little confused. I think Sukuna himself just cut Gojo in half. Because once again, he says, like, if I can cut the world. And once again, like I said, Maharaga was just teaching Sukuna how to do it. Like, Sukuna always had the potential to learn to cut through anything. Like, he did. But he just needed the role model. He just needed the mentor. And Daddy Maharaga came out and taught his kid how to do it. And thusly, Gojo was easily sliced in half. I wish we could have seen it, though. Like, if I did have one complaint about this chapter, I do wish we spent a little bit less time with the Unalive gang, and I wish we could have actually seen the moment of Gojo getting bifurcated. Like, even... Once again, spoilers for Bleach, but even Kubo gave us that. Like, we got to see Yamamoto get cut in half by Yuhaba. Like, we got to see that. But we don't actually get to see Gojo go. And I'm guessing that's Gege, like, being kind to us. Like, he's like, fine, I'll show you his body. I'll show you his standing feet and his bifurcated torso. But I won't show you the impact. But, like, dog. I hope, once again, I know Mappa has been taking a lot of heat recently for the anime. Don't exactly get why. Admittedly, I don't even watch the anime. It's just me. But, like, from the little cuts I've seen, I see no issue with the anime, like, at all. I don't know. Really, I have no idea what people are complaining about. But I hope Mappa gives us Sukuna actually bifurcating it. But that is such a big thing. That is such a, like, massive difference from the manga that I don't think we're going to see it, which is unfortunate. I wish we could have seen him cut in half. I know you may be like, it could have been a beautiful 2-page spread too, but like, I know you're all gonna be like, that's, you wanted to see Gojo cut in half. I thought you said Gojo was gonna win. I thought you said Gojo was the strongest. I did, and I can humbly admit, your boy was wrong. And we see that Sukuna actually says something that's nice and sweet in the end. Once again, he hasn't started the healing process, which feels a little bit weird. I mean, I get it, he's paying his respects to Gojo, but like, he's literally just talking to himself. I mean, maybe you could argue Gojo smiles there towards the end. I can't. Let me see. Let me go back to Gojo's original face. It looks like I don't know. It's hard to tell if he died smiling or if Sukuna's final words to him were what ended up with Gojo grinning right there at the end. But Gojo ends up being told, whether he's there or not. Gojo ends up being told by Sukuna, "Good job, Gojo Satoru. I will never forget about you." And that's nice. That's it's true. It's true. He will never end up forgetting about him, and that's honestly sweet. That's honestly the sweetest thing you can get from the King of Curses, Ryoma Sukuna. And once again, maybe Gojo grins in this final moment. I can't exactly tell. The life juice on his face is so thick. It sounds so not that kind of life juice. Gosh darn it! Don't. I didn't mean it like that. But the life juice is pouring out of Gojo's mouth so thick that I can barely tell. And we see the one with absolutely no hesitation at all. The one who's been waiting for this moment, who waited 400 years for it. We see that Sukuna says, "Don't let me down." And the narrator explains that without a moment of feeling sorrow for Gojo's death, the man that came in is the thunder god Hajime Kashima. So, Kashima versus Sukuna is up next. I'm happy for the Kashima fans. I'm hoping he better drop it. I need to make the video needs to happen now. The video is going to happen today. This is going to be Wednesday's video. Thursday's video will likely end up being the review. But I'll see. I may make the Kashimo video on Thursday. I gotta do it quick. I gotta do it quick. I gotta drop the Kashimo Curse Technique video. And I gotta drop the Sukuna Curse Technique video. I gotta drop the Sukuna full. I have so many videos I need to drop now. But yes, Gojo Satoru is dead by the end of 236. Now, here's the thing. You may all be like, that's a man. Where's your excuse now? Or no. There are a couple of things we want to tackle for number one. Huntsman, can you say you were wrong and that you ended up falling for Gege's ruse? Yes. Yeah. Gege played me like a fiddle. I don't actually own it. Do I? Wait, is my guitar still there? I do have a guitar, but it is so deeply buried in those boxes that I don't think I'm gonna get. To quote Kashimo Hajime, that's what losers think. Hold on, give me 1 second. Come here. Yeah. Ooh. Oh Lord, I knocked a new color into it. Light, come back. Oh sweet mother of mercy, light, come back. I didn't mean to do that to you. Light, please. Light, please. Mr. Yagami, please. I think that's it. We're back. I don't know how to play a guitar. This is probably about 2 decades old. But yeah, but I'll go harder than I don't know. It'd be like that when it'd be like that sometimes. So shout outs to all the Sukuna fans. Every single Sukuna fan that had faith to the very end of it all. My credit to you. My 100% credit to you. You guys are the strongest soldiers I have ever seen. And ultimately, I can't even lie. I'm happy for y'all. I'm happy that y'all ended up right. Number 2, I've already seen the Gojo fans huffing copium. Oh, what if he didn't have Megumi singing? Oh, what if this? What if that? First things first. Gojo lost. That's it. Like, it doesn't... ironically enough, I'm gonna quote the Sukuna fans here. In the end, it didn't matter how badly Sukuna was being bullied. It didn't matter how fraudulent he looked. It didn't matter that any of that. No matter what, Sukuna won the fight. Sukuna is the strongest. There's no other way to put it. Like, I wish I could interpret it in some other different kind of way, but no. Sukuna won. So none of that, Kobe. If we're gonna go down as Gojo fans, we're gonna go down as Gojo fans honorable. And that means we take it at face value. Sukuna won. Number 2. I've seen a couple Gojo fans already claim this is bad writing. This is lies. What was all that about Gojo being the strongest? I don't know, he just lied to us. It wouldn't be the first time. I will admit, I put a whole ton of faith in the external statements. Gabe just changed it. Well, I can't even say Gabe changed his mind. He may have legit just lied to us. Because I think even the most recent Gojo statement was like... I think the most recent Gojo statement did predate Maguna. Especially, it definitely predated... Whoa! It definitely predated 20-finger Maguna that we have now. So... It does seem entirely possible that it's all ogre now. That Gojo was once I'll give credit. A lot of Sukuna fans were saying it when it was first coming, when I was making a bunch of those arguments. It's only for the time period. It's only without 20-finger Sukuna existing. Personally, I literally just took it at face value. Gojo Satoru is the strongest character in the entire manga. Strongest character, blah, blah, blah. Conceived as the pinnacle of power within the series. And here's the thing, right? You could argue it that technically he was, but like, Gojo himself in this very chapter says Sukuna was just stronger than him while holding back. So like, the strongest was never, ever like a true thing, except for, once again, of the modern day, I suppose. So that is it. A lot of people are wondering, once again, well, since he had to lean on Maharaga so much, could he have actually beat Gojo without Maharaga? I think so. The fact that he didn't end up going into true form, the fact that Gojo says he was holding back, and notably, I'm not sure, once again, I'll wait for the full proper translations, but according to at least these little mini translations that I have, it's not even like Gojo says, oh, he was just holding back his curse technique. No, it's implied that Sukuna was holding back stats. Like, he was literally kind of... playing with Gojo like he was his kid. We keep talking about the Father Raga memes, but like, at least based on how Gojo talks to the ghosts at the start of the chapter, no, like Sukuna was just having fun with his kid. Meanwhile, Gojo was genuinely giving it his all. It just be like that when it be like that sometimes. I will admit, hate to say it, Satoru, you should have just fought him at 15 fingers. What can I say? You should have just thrown hands on them right there. I'll wholeheartedly admit to being wrong in that one aspect. You can slide 20 fingers of Kunita now to the top of the verse. Now, I think it depends how much you want to slop off the power growth of the fingers over time. Like, if Gojo himself doesn't think he could he's not 100% confident that he could beat no Megami Technique Sukuna. If he sorry, but if he thinks that he couldn't beat no Megami Technique Sukuna, it's likely he couldn't beat no Megami Technique Sukuna. So I think that is it. Sukuna is verbatim the strongest. And ultimately, I'll take it. Like, I suppose this is a little bit... that's the thing. It's the Gojo glazer in me that wanted him to keep going. I wanted to see how Gege would write around the character. But I suppose this is Gege writing around the character. Introducing somebody stronger. Or reintroducing somebody stronger, I suppose. I guess you could technically say Maguna is a new character, since it's Megami with Sukuna's power. But, like, it works. It works. And I'll give credit. Gojo got what he wanted. Admittedly, even if Gojo got to fight the big great curse conglomerate, that I still assume is coming. Like, I don't love Kashimo. Love him to bits and pieces. Don't think he's... no. If Sukuna doesn't heal... But then again, that could be even more embarrassing. Because Sukuna, even by the end of the chapter, has not started healing. And Kashimo is coming in. Staff at hand... leaping from who knows where. Like, is he riding like a Kintaoon or something? Like, where's bro come from? But presumably, I don't think Kashimo is gonna end up getting the final blow on Sukuna. So, but if he manages to win, Kashimo may just be him. Will Kashimo be the strongest? Not too sure about that. Kashimo better throw him a sensu bean or something. I hope he does. I hope he does him like perfect cell. Hope he like pops open the top of the staff and is like, here, eat this. And it's literally just like a sensu bean. But yeah, Yorozu's gift was, at least in my opinion, it seems like Yorozu's gift was 100% metaphorical. Unless when he says "Don't let me down," he isn't actually referring to Hajime Kashimo, and he's referring to Yorozu's gift that's gonna like fully heal him or something. Like I don't know. I'm interested to see Kashimo versus Sukuna, and I'm interested to see how long this fight's gonna be. Like, is it gonna be a Ryu run back, or is Kashimo gonna get like a full volume fight to himself? Considering Gege has fully admitted the manga's not stopping this year, and we still have what, it's middle of September now. We're on no break next week, so we still have, let's see, how many more? I do not know my months that well. If there's two things, if there's two weaknesses that pencil has, it's months and geography. So we have one more chapter for JJK. Let's assume Gege takes no breaks for the rest of the year. Then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? Maybe 14 chapters left for this year. So this could be a new generational fight. But I'm very interested to see Kashimo versus Sukuna, considering this is what Kashimo's character has been building to since its introduction. And since Kashimo, like I said before, I made a whole video on it. Who knows, man, I've been wrong on that too. I don't think Kashimo stands a chance, but he seems ready. He seems hyped. Sukuna seems to be invested in him too, and I'm very interested to see how that ends up going. But yes, that is the end of Satoru Gojo. Satoru Gojo has fallen. And once again, do I pour one more? I think I pour one more. Start of the video, middle of the video, end of the video. Once again, I iterate that this is water. It is literally 5 in the morning. I am not drinking anything other than water at 5 in the morning. But I'm holding it wrong. I'm supposed to drink it like this, I think. It's been fun. And it's been real. Sukuna fans, do your worst. Have your W and cherish it. Don't, and this is coming from a certified, licensed, and registered Gojo Glazer. Hold nothing back. I want this whole comment section lit up with Sukuna glaze. I swear, if y'all hold back after all you've been through, I will be a little bit sad. So every single one of you, do your worst in this comment section. Do your worst. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave the true strongest. Leave the true strong. Make it one word. Make it one word, because you may end up actually saying the true strongest like a natural sentence. So like, leave it as one word if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below, where you can support for as low as one month. Key things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Oh, y'all thought I forgot? The chapter's worthy, by the way.
This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Red Wolf 4765. I'd like to give a very big thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Gem Lord, Kevin, and Demex LND. And a very big thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchiha, Idemokami, and Calvin Elder. And to give another very big thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Ignew.